Good morning, we're good. All set?
Yes, you're all set. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a little bit unusual, but we thank you for showing up here. This is the Wednesday, August 16th, Barnstable Licensing Authority meeting. My name is Larry Decker, and I'm filling in as chairman of this meeting. And we do have some unusual circumstances, so I'm hoping that you'll bear with me. Couldn't happen at a worse time. I will say that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Channel 18, and in accordance with MGL Chapter 38, Paragraph 20, we must inquire whether anyone else is taping this meeting, and please make their presence known. Seeing none, we'll continue on. The first item we had on our agenda was election of officers, but that is being postponed to the September meeting. The next item is public comment. If there's anyone who would like to express public comment, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll move into the new applications. An application has been filed by B&A Collectibles, Inc., DBA International Estate Collectors Association of St. Augustine, Florida, for a junk dealer license. The applicant will be operating out of the Cape Cod Resort and Spa, 1225 I&O Road, Hyannis, from August 15th, 23 through Saturday, August 19th. Now, due to extenuating circumstances, the current location of the management company organizers, the applicant has been granted permission to attend this meeting via Zoom. I would also say that please note that for the record that an anonymous business owner in the town of Sandwich is concerned that this type of event would hurt local junk dealers license holders in this area. So the first thing I would ask is if anyone here present has any comments with regard to this application. Hearing none, I'll ask the organizers, the International Estate Collectors application, to tell us a little bit about their business.
Okay. We do travel. We purchase antiques and collectibles. We've been in business since 2016. We're pretty reputable. We deal with a ton of different collectors. We don't try to come into town to try to hurt anybody else's business, but as of being a business, it is competitive. We do generally pay pretty high prices. Just like everybody else says, they pay the top dollar. I believe we probably pay higher than what they do. Don't know what else really to say here. We go through every city. We email the police, the sheriff, the county, and the city of any type of requirements or licensing that is required. Unfortunately, for this circumstance, we were given the wrong information. So we continued with the process of our event. And now we're kind of in this meeting at the moment due to the wrong information that was given to us. If we were told that there was a permit that is required, we would have fulfilled it before coming to town, as we did, even without being asked to. We generally submitted the application. We're able to fulfill any of the regulation that is required, and just looking to continue the event. The event's just till Saturday. So.
If I may, Erin Logan from the town of Barnstable. Eddie, could you please, and Melinda, just introduce yourselves first and last name for the record?
Yep, I'm Eddie Brown. I'm one of the owners of the company.
And I'm Melinda Brown, the operating manager.
Thank you.
Okay. Question: Do you buy and then sell at other places?
We purchase items locally wherever we're at, and some items get sold, some do not. We deal with being a collector. Like myself, I'm a watch collector. I got quite a few watches myself, and I like collecting a lot of military items. Then I also deal with other collectors, and I also deal with dealers. So it's kind of a mixture of array of kind of how the items gets dispersed.
Have you been advertising locally?
Yes, we advertise newspaper, and we also advertise with mail out flyers. So we do spend quite a bit of money even when we're there. So the money does go into the community. We also go to restaurants, anything really more entertainment wise. We like going out, seeing the city. A lot of the stuff that we purchase come from estates. So it's people who generally passed and leave stuff down to somebody else. And 100% honest, a lot of people don't feel a lot of local places are trustworthy enough to go to, such as like pawn shops or anything of that, because anybody who thinks of a pawn shop generally thinks they're going to get 50% right off the bat of the value. And we do pay higher, of course, from that. Some items we go anywhere from 60 to about 95 to 97% of the value itself, because the values do fluctuate. So there also always has to be a buffer of the fluctuation of the market.
Any questions?
How large of an area are you operating out of?
Sorry, I can barely hear you here.
Eddie,
1 second.
can you hear me?
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Okay, for the record, member Carlson Libben was asking the area that you're operating in at the Cape Codder.
How large of an area?
We're in Hyannis, the hotel location.
Is Cape Cod Resort and Spa. And we usually go to hotels. That way we can bring more people to that place. That way they can profit from our organization as well.
But is it one room or is it an?
Yeah, it's a convention room.
Okay, thank you.
Convention room, we do not set up in like a sleeping room type scenario. We generally set up 15 tables. Most of them are for display purposes. They just represent items of what we look for. We do not sell items at the location. We evaluate items also for free. So if someone does not like to sell the item, at least they get the evaluation of what the item is worth. I have 2 employees at the location. They evaluate and they do the purchasing there. And they're open 10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday and 10 to 3 on Saturday.
Being that this includes from August 15th through the 19th, I assume that there's someone there now?
Yes, there is. Yep.
Dave, I have a few questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Just a couple of questions. First, what does IECA stand for as your website?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you there.
International Estate Collectors Association.
Commissioners all need to speak right into the microphone.
Okay. And have you worked in Massachusetts before?
Yes. Last week, actually, we were just in Worcester,
Worcester.
if I can pronounce that correctly.
Okay. And so you come in and are you just buying as opposed to selling or doing both?
Correct. We only purchase.
You're only buying. Okay. And
I'm
then
saying again, like some items never get sold. I'm sitting on like 5 years of inventory. So.
And a lot of people, sometimes whenever estates go to family members and everything, they don't know, that person doesn't know what they have in their hands. So like people that we have out there, they can come in and say, hey, can you tell me what this is, what it's possibly worth, stuff like that. That way they can give it to their children or know the right route to make sure it's authenticated, stuff like that. It's just kind of like a resource.
Do you have a routine list of items that you generally purchase? Or is it just people can come in randomly and bring you anything?
Anything. I evaluate and purchase pretty much anything. The only thing that I do not try to purchase is old furniture. Furniture, because it's too large for us to kind of carry around. I try to stay away from porcelain and ceramics. The market has crashed on that, unfortunately, with kind of today's generation. A lot of kids don't have interest anymore in a lot of antiques. So a lot of items kind of fell off the market. Like probably 5 so years ago, I was buying Hummels. I can get $100 per Hummel pretty easily. Today, I can't even purchase them. And I try to educate the customer that I have there. And I do tell them if it's not for me to go look somewhere else locally. So an antique shop or a flea market or anything of that sort. Because some items I just can't even do. So, or wouldn't make sense to do.
And what are your hours of operation at the Cape Cod?
Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 3.
I have an old junk car. Would you be interested in that?
Depends on the kind. Our dad's wanting a Corvette.
Yeah, it depends on the kind. I'm a old muscle car type person. I wouldn't be buying it for the company. It'd be more of a personal transaction there, but looking for a 69 Camaro, so that's worth buying. But
David, do you have any questions?
and a Stingray Corvette. So.
I think the only thing that I would like to say, my name is David Anthony. I'm Director of Asset Management, and I oversee the licensing operation. The uniqueness of this particular request, they did come forward to ask permission to do this kind of thing. And ironically, this is one of those activities that seems to beg the question, does it command a license, does it not command a license? This is not a brick and mortar store within the bounds of Barnstable, which very clearly in our regulations does require a full junk dealer's license. So there was some question as to whether this did or this didn't, and they were given the opportunity to come forward without a license. And we have since then taken a look at our regulations and determined that perhaps we should have made a different decision at the time, and so as not to cancel this in the midst of all of the expense that they have extended. This is why we have this situation now, and we have a commitment from a number of different town departments and the police force to participate in a reevaluation of this particular section 508 of our regulations to make sure that we can accommodate this kind of activity if, in fact, it makes sense to do so in the future. So we have this unique situation where what we are trying to do is bring them into as much compliance as possible at the last minute. This is not meant to be any kind of a precedent-setting operation, and it could very well be that this type of activity in the future is determined not necessarily to be something that we would encourage. However, we are where we are today. They've been in operation for 2 days, have been in full communication and cooperation with the licensing staff and with the police department. They have done everything that they have been asked to do, recognizing that through a whole series of situations, they proceeded based on the idea that they would be able to, and it was really second thought that brought us to this situation, which is really where we are. As much as they have been wonderful in describing the kind of activities that they do, this opens the door to a reevaluation of our regulations to make sure. And we occasionally have these kinds of things that come up all the time. The definition of entertainment and what rises to the level of licensure changes all the time. The particular example is a House of Hatchets. It's not really what was intended 2 decades ago when some of this licensing regulations were put forward, but it is a form of entertainment now. So how does that all play out? And what we want to do is treat every applicant fairly, openly, and consistently. And staff has really bent over backwards. The legal department has been in full support of this. The police department has been cooperating through all of this to get us to the point where we can bring them, for this particular case, into a sense of as much compliance as possible with the intent of the regulations.
But David, it still begs the question, today is 2 days after the fact that they've begun, and it's now coming to the licensing board, which to me is contrary to what we should be doing, not only now, but in the future.
Fully understand that, fully understand that.
I would just pass on that that's not necessarily their fault.
I understand.
Okay.
No, I understand it's not their fault, but nonetheless, we're still being asked to vote on something that's already ongoing.
Right.
We had
That concerns me.
We had rigorous internal debate with our legal department about how best to do this. And it was generally decided that because this was a properly posted meeting of the licensing authority for 3 o'clock today, that it was better to make a late addition to the agenda than to try to hold some sort of an unposted emergency meeting in the past 72 hours or even last Friday as things started to come forward. So we recognize that this is a bit out of the ordinary, but what we felt was that the intent needed to be to meet the regulations as they currently stand as best as we can from a staff perspective, from a police perspective, and also from their perspective as they had outlaid money in order to bring this forward.
No, I respect that. It's just I want to raise it as an issue for the future, just as in the past, at one time, we would approve an event after the fact that the event had already occurred, and we were brought to task on that by the state. I want to be sure that we're in compliance from this point forward, that any kind of operation like this, that they come to us in enough due time that we can discuss it and then approve.
Duly noted, and the licensing authority has been very clear in that direction. So thank you, sir.
Based on the fact that the town of Barnstable's legal department has determined that a license is required, I would entertain a motion at this time.
An application has been filed by B&A Collectibles, Inc., DBA International Estate Collectors Association of St. Augustine, Florida, for a junk dealer license. The applicant will be temporarily operating out of the Cape Codder Resort and Spa, 1225 INO Road, Hyannis, from August 15th, 2023, through Saturday, August 19th, 2023. I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Good luck, best of luck, and we hope to see you again, but I'll just be aware that you need to apply well in advance. We realize this wasn't your fault, but we appreciate you coming back.
Yep. Yeah, I believe we tried to apply, or when we started emails, I think it was March.
Yeah, we didn't know about anything until the day before.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we tried well ahead of time.
Best of luck. I'll bring my junk car over.
Thanks.
Good,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I apologize for not introducing the people up here with me. We have Nancy Carlson Lidman, who is an associate member of the licensing board, and John Flores, and also David Anthony, who is the director of asset management, and Aaron Logan, who is our interim director of asset management and licensing. So moving right along to new business, an application has been filed by the Cape Cod Community College, 2240 INO Road, West Barnstable, for a one-day entertainment license for High Kings Concert, an Irish ballad concert to be held on September 6, 2023 at 8 p.m., and the event organizer expect approximately 600 attendees. Is there anyone here from the Cape Cod Community College? Please state your name and what you're going to have.
My name is Joe McKinnon. I'm the Director of Facilities and Sustainability for Cape Cod Community College.
And you're going to have some Irish ballads, huh?
We're hoping to. Yeah, this is a one-evening show, approximately 2 hours, starts at 8 p.m. No alcohol will be served because they did not book the show in time for us to get the required state alcohol license, so it's a fairly simple in-and-out show.
I did notice one thing on the application, and maybe I might have misinterpreted, but it said the admission charge is $54.
So the admission charges, it depends on the seating, I think. For example, not an aisle seat, they range from $39 to $69, and individual seats are $39 to $69
Okay.
is the range.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the,
David, just a comment. I probably need to recuse myself from this vote because I am a member of the Cape Cod Community College Board of Trustees. I don't want to have any conflict of interest. And I'm just curious, is the college receiving any revenue from this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I believe we need a majority vote to pass, so if you're comfortable and you could vote it down, and then potentially if the other members voted in the affirmative,
yes?
it would still pass, but if you recuse, this issue is dead in the water, and we'd have to continue it to another meeting.
Well, I'll support. I just want to be sure on record. I'm not
You don't have a financial stake
I have
in this
nothing
application
whatsoever. I'm,
moving forward. I think
appointed by the governor to the Cape Cod Community College Board of Trustees, and
our biggest concern would be a financial
Okay.
stake in this application.
And you're not going to sing?
no,
Checking.
or dance.
Can I hear
An application has been filed by Cape Cod Community College, 2240 Iano Road, West Barnstable, for a one-day entertainment license for the High Kings Concert and Irish Ballad Concert to be held on September 6th, 2023 at 8 p.m. Event organizers expect 600 attendees. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second that.
all in favor? Aye.
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 Motion's carried. Good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A special one-day beer and wine and entertainment license. An application has been filed by Jason Cisco for a one-day beer and wine and a one-day entertainment licenses for the Katuitt Oyster Festival. Beer and wine will be poured by Danielle Cisco, who has a current tips certified. A five-piece Linda Ronstadt cover band, not amplified, will provide the entertainment. The event organizer anticipates approximately 200 attendees. Do we have anyone here from the, you're not Jason Cisco.
Not Jason Cisco. I'm Danielle Cisco. So I'm here on behalf of both of us. So we're holding an oyster festival in Katuitt at Kings Grant Tennis Club, and we're looking to pour some beer and wine, have a little bit of entertainment, and have a good day.
So the Linda Ronstadt cover band has Irish music, or,
Irish music?
well,
No,
no.
It's provided.
Excuse me, I'm
Oh.
sorry. Got the wrong one. But they are a band that you've hired?
Yeah, so actually, we're doing this in conjunction with the Katuitt Center for the Arts, and David Keene over there has hired them. So the whole event will go to benefit the Katuitt Center for the Arts, Katuitt Civic Association, and other organizations around the village.
Have you had this before?
Nope, this is our first one. Yep.
Any questions?
Just to be sure that all health department-related tips certified has been approved and taken care of?
Yes.
Okay. And these are Katuitt oysters, or,
Oh, yeah.
so they're coming from Katuitt as opposed to
What-
my side of town, Barnstable
Yeah, no,
Village?
they're going to be Katuitt. We're proud of our Katuitt oysters.
Could you describe a little bit of the venue and how you have it roped off with the beer and wine?
Okay, so there'll be a tent there, and anyone who wants to purchase a beverage, a beer, alcoholic beverage, will have to have a wristband. We'll be carding at each of the bars, and it's it's a pretty, it's I wouldn't say it's roped off, but it's a pretty clear boundary on the property.
Okay. And how many bars?
2, 3.
3.
Yep.
Do you require a police officer?
No, we haven't been told we need to.
Larry, Pardon me, but for the record, I had put in notes that Officer Kelsey, given the size of the potential crowd, is requesting one police detail for this event,
Okay.
just for the record.
What is the date and time?
September 30th from 1 to 6 p.m.
It's not, because that wasn't on here.
Because you're going to have 3 serving stations, you'll have tip certified people at each one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is this an event where children and minors will be present, or is this likely to be just for adults?
No, it's a family event with music and,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, so I entertain, and it's going to be subject to having a police officer.
Okay. An application has been filed by Jason Sisko for a one-day beer and wine and one-day entertainment license on September 30th from 1 to 6 p.m. for the Katuitt Oyster Festival. Beer and wine will be poured by Danielle Sisko, current tip certification on file. A 5-piece Linda Ronstadt cover band, not amplified, will provide the entertainment. The event organized anticipates 200 attendees, and a police detail is requested.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Good luck.
All right.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is to amend an all-alcohol common victor license. The application has been filed by GMRI Inc., DBA, the Olive Garden Italian Restaurant, number 1523, located at 1095 INO Road, Hyannis, for a change of manager from David Allen Marshall to Gustav Garcia. Is there anyone here? Please state your name and
Good afternoon. My name is Gustavo Garcia.
you're going to be the new manager?
Yes, I'm actually currently I got promoted for general manager position.
Great, good for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And everything remains the same as far as it goes. It's just that,
Everything remains the same, correct?
all right, good place to eat. Is there any questions? I have a motion.
An application has been made by GMRI Inc., DBA The Olive Garden Italian Restaurant, 1523, 1095 INO Road, Hyannis, for a change of manager from David Allen Marshall to Gustavo Garcia. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. An application has been filed by the Ryan Family Amusement, Inc., DBA 10-Pin Eatery, 793 INO Road, Hyannis, for a change of manager from Emily A. Page to Stephen Kraft. Is there anyone here from the 10-Pin Eatery? Gentlemen?
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Campbell, one of the partners of Ryan Family Amusements and also an operations manager.
I'm Stephen Kraft. I'm the general manager at 10-Pin. I'm Stephen Kraft. I'm the general manager at 10-Pin Eatery.
We're asking the board to have the management transfer. Emily Page has been promoted to a new position, and we're asking, Steve's been on board since day one, 5 years.
Right.
He's been the assistant manager, so we're asking the board to approve the transfer.
Right. I know he's been there quite a while. He's well trained. Nothing's going to change, just a matter of Steve taking over, right?
Right.
You're still going to work 24/7?
All right, motion, please.
An application has been filed by Ryan Family Amusements, Inc., DBA 10-Pin Eatery, 793 INO Road, Hyannis, for a change of manager from Emily A. Page to Stephen Kraft. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item is to amend an all-alcohol common victor license. Application has been filed by New England Clam Bake Inc., DBA Wimpy's, 752 Main Street, Osterville, for a change of manager from Andrew Joel Glassman to Sean Richards. Is there anyone here?
If I could just remind that we do need to ask about public comment in case somebody does have something to say about these individual issues as they come up, just to make sure that we're in full compliance. Thank you, sir.
Hi.
You are?
Good day, everybody. I'm Sean Richards.
Sean Richards. And you're going to take over.
Yeah, I am the Director of Operations. I came on board with New England Clam Bake, DBA Wimpy's, back in December.
No, I did note one question on your application, or brought up one question. From 2018 to 2022, you were self-employed.
I was. I operated a Uber and Lyft business down here in the Cape. And I went all the way from Hyannis, typically, down to Falmouth. It was a very good business for a while, but as fuel costs rose and the economy changed, it was time to look to get back into the restaurant industry, which I did back in December.
You had plenty of experience in the...
Yeah, I worked for Charlie Sarkis out in Back Bay Restaurant Group for over a period of 13 years. It says 8 on my resume, but I went back as just a bartender. I was on my second stint. But originally, I was a regional bar manager with them, and I worked for Roger Berkowitz for 7 years. I've held numerous upper management positions as a general manager, and this is my first forte into Director of Operations. I help oversee Fancy's Market as well.
I was going to ask you about Fancy's.
Yeah.
Are they still affiliated?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Still the same 2 owners.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm just curious, when you worked with Charlie, which restaurant did you work at?
What's that?
Which restaurant did you work at with Charlie Sarkis?
I started off in Charlie's in North Attleboro. That's the one I grew up in, essentially. And then I got promoted to Joe's on the waterfront in Boston. And then I helped them open Joe's in Dedham when it switched over from J.C. Hillary's.
So you never got to Abe and Louie's?
No, I when I went back in my second stint, I bartended at Atlantic Fish, which is right next door.
Yeah, next door.
So, yeah.
I knew Charlie fairly well.
Yeah. He was a good guy.
All right. No other questions? Public comment? Anyone from the public want to? Seeing none?
An application has been filed by New England Clam Bake, Inc., DBA Wimpy's, 752 Main Street, Osterville, for a change of manager from Andrew Joel Glassman to Sean Richards. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item is to amend an all-alcohol common victor license. An application has been filed by Harbor Club, Inc., DBA Trader Ed's. And what is the address of that, Aaron? Trader Ed's?
11 Willow Street, Hyannis.
11 Willow Street, Hyannis, for a change of manager from John C. Shea to Jared Payne. Is there anyone here? Must be Jared Payne.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. I'm Jared Payne.
And you're going to take over at, Wayne?
Yes, he's the owner. Yep.
I noticed that you finished up in September of 22 with tugboats. What have you been doing since then?
I know I was 2 weeks away from my first summer not in a restaurant. I do a lot of different things. I own a basketball gym in Sandwich, so I run a basketball gym and program out of there. And then I sold my house and I bought a rental property that I was fixing up over the last year.
So now you're going to take over there for that
Now I'm
place.
back in action.
It's going to be a lot of action going on down there. Any other comments or questions?
Could you tell me exactly how much experience you have had doing this?
I've been working in restaurants for about 18 years. I've been managing restaurants since the day I left college, so about 11 years.
Okay.
I was at Tugboats most recently.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone from the public have any comments? John?
So you worked with Jenny Zimbelis?
Yep.
No one from the public have any comments? Having none?
An application has been filed by the Harbor Club, Inc., DBA Trader Ed's, 11 Willow Street, Hyannis, for a change of manager from John C. Shea to Jared Payne. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item is to amend an all-alcohol common victor license. The application filed by Dublin LLC, DBA British Beer Company, 412 Main Street, Hyannis, for change of manager from Chrissy Kuko to Catherine Teresa Fitzsimmons. Also, the change of a DBA from British Beer Company to the Odd Triangle. And I think we have Mr. Kenny here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Licensing Authority. Thank you. For the record, John Kenny, attorney with the law office in Centerville. Come before you representing Dublin LLC. Here with me this afternoon is Desmond Keogh, the manager and principal owner of Dublin LLC, and also Catherine Teresa Fitzsimmons, who goes by Katie, who's the proposed new manager. And just ask Katie to give you a brief introduction as to who she is, what her experience is in the industry, and we'll address the change of manager, and then we'll get to the change of the DBA. Hit it again, Katie. The green light needs to be on. There you go.
Hi, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
So I have 15 plus years experience in the restaurant industry. Until very recently, I was the kitchen, bar, club, and function manager at the Sons of Erin, then the general manager. I was there for 15 years. I just joined Des about 3.5 weeks ago. I'm tip certified. I have many certifications.
How long were you at Sons of Erin?
Almost 16 years.
Really?
That's one on 28.
Oh, yeah.
Any questions, comments? Obviously, there's no one from the public, so we'll move on. And we're going to change the DBA.
Yes, we're asking to change the DBA from British Beer Company, as you might notice, the Dublin LLC and the British Beer Company. A little bit of a non-mix there. And so we're asking to change the name to the DBA to be the Old Triangle. And I'll ask Desmond Keogh to give you a little bit of background on what that is. I actually had to look it up myself, but he's got some personal experience here.
Yeah, the name itself, we were trying to come up with a good name with a good Irish connection and a sort of a family connection. And Brendan Bean was my grandmother's first cousin. He wrote the plays. And he wrote that song, The Old Triangle, so that's why we named it The Old Triangle, in honor of our family connection through my grandmother to Brendan Bean. So it's and the name was available, which was surprising. So it was meant to be. When I looked up the name, we got the .com, the name was available. So hopefully we'll get approval to change it.
Where was the triangle, Desmond? Where was the triangle? What was the significance of it?
Oh, the triangle was when it was in the jail. If there was like someone coming in to be, to either get released or to get fed, they'd ring the L triangle. And what it was he was when he was in jail, he was pining his girlfriend. He was singing the song about when he'd hear the L triangle goes jingle jangle, and that was the song. It's a very, very popular song, and that's where that came from. The play that his brother Dominic wrote. 450 songs, and his uncle was the one that wrote the national anthem for Ireland, which is Patrick Carney. So they're all connected. So that's the history of the Old Triangle. So,
I just have one quick question.
Certainly.
So, old AULD.
Yes, and that's how they wrote it that way, and they spelt it that way, AULD.
But isn't that Scottish for old?
No, that's a Dublin one.
Because if you look it up, it's
or Glasgow actually. Glasgow would be similar. Yeah. But the real Dublin, if I said it the Dublin way, but the Owl Triangle, that's how they would say it. Yeah, and he spoke that way. Actually, they have video of him actually singing the song himself, so it's pretty good. Yeah.
No, the reason I ask is you of Irish descent, you went from the British Beer Company to...
Well, it was...
which was a question.
It was,
and then now...
Everybody came in. What we were doing was initially it came upon the sale happened so quick, and it was always something in the back of my mind, but it was... Our goal at the time was, because we closed in the start of the summer, was to save the jobs that were there, because the previous owner, the plans were to shut the place down. So rather than trying to change everything too quick, let's just keep everything the same. And then over time, let's try and start changing. We're going to change a little bit later, but the response we were getting was people thought it was closing down at the end of the summer, that every one of them, all the other ones had closed. And then they were saying, well, I heard that the BBC is closing in 23. So we figured by Labor Day it was going to close. We were getting some negative pushback from that, people thinking it was going to close down. And staff were getting worried. So we decided to go sooner with the change of concept and the
So
name.
you'll be changing the name outside and all of
Absolutely, yeah. We got to go to the historical with the signs and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
And they'll apply for a DBA certificate from the town.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. We do have on file a town manager license to use a portion of the public right-of-way, the sidewalk for the outdoor tables.
Yes, yeah.
We will need to just update that document when the new change comes through. And just as a matter of notice, one of the tasks that we have this fall is to revisit the entire way that we're licensing those out. We're not looking to eliminate them. We're just going to be changing the paperwork that goes along with it.
Okay.
So through you to your attorney, I just wanted to bring that to Attorney Kenny's attention, that we will need to just make that correction there as well, even though it's unrelated to this licensing authority.
Should we just do that through Aaron?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
And I would commend Des, you've been doing a great job over there.
Oh, thank you, John.
I
Thank you.
hear good
Yeah,
things.
thank you so much. Yeah.
An application has been filed by Doug Lynn, LLC, DBA British Beer Company, 412 Main Street, Hyannis, for a change of manager from Chrissy Cuoco to Catherine Teresa Fitzsimmons. Also a change of DBA from British Beer Company to the Owl Triangle.
I'll second that.
I make a motion to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll second that.
All in favor?
You accept
Aye.
it quick. Aye.
Aye.
The motion's been carried. Good luck.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for all your support, by the way, and actually, Aaron, great support too. Thank you so much.
It's good
Thank
Good
you.
luck, Katie.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you all
Thanks.
very much.
Thank you. So we'll see you at the Owl Triangle. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The next item is a public hearing. New common victor. Application was filed by Tiago Luis Arano Ducomo, DBA The Cheese Bread Bakery Cafe, 20 Center Street, Hyannis, for a new common victor license with indoor seating for 30. And you are?
My name is Tiago. Thank you for having me, guys.
Sure. So you're Tiago?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Tiago, could I just get your full name for the record?
Tiago Luis Araújo do Carmo.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you're going to do.
So just got this restaurant from a friend of mine, which is Armando. I purchased the restaurant from him. So we're going to just continue doing the same things that he was doing. So we're going to continue with the bakery, and serving a little bit of the food and the Brazilian style food. I come from Brazil 19 years ago. My family owns 2 restaurants in Brazil. I started work with them when I was 10 years old, and I managed the restaurant when I was 15 until 18 when I moved to the United States. So I know pretty much everything about the Brazilian kitchen. I want to bring here, some quality of the Brazilian food.
So you're serving the same menu, the same products, you have the same employees?
Same everything, same layout, same everything.
Just a new boss, right?
He's just a new guy over here, yes.
Are you looking to change anything further down the road, or everything is working?
For now, I don't have that thought. I just want to continue because it is working, so I don't think about changing anything. But if I do, I'm pretty sure I'll be talking to you guys and I'll be asking you guys to work with me if it's possible.
Why did the owner sell so quickly?
I think he has like an injury on the knee, and he's gonna have to do a surgery. So he's gonna be 1 year without being able to carry any weight, and he does have another health issue too, which he didn't share with me. So he couldn't handle. It's a lot of working. It's a lot of work owning a restaurant.
Sure.
And he was not ready to take on that task.
Because we just approved that not too
I'm sorry?
We just approved that not too long ago. I
Yeah.
was just curious as to why
Yeah,
the sudden
yeah.
change,
Yeah.
sudden sale.
I'm sorry. I understand that, and I that's what he told me, you know, and I think it's just that it was a good thing for me because that's what I love to do. Also,
Okay. Thank you.
my pleasure. Thank you.
What are the hours? What are your hours?
We're planning to open from 6:30 a.m. until the kitchen's gonna close at 10 p.m. and we're closing the doors at 11 p.m. That's what my goal is to be.
And you don't serve any alcohol at
No.
all, so.
No.
All right, any other comments, questions? I entertain a motion.
An application was filed by Tiago Luiz Arajo do Como, DBA Cheese Bread Bakery Cafe, 70 Center Street, Hyannis, for a new common victualler license. Indoor seating for 30. Hours of operation 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's been carried. Good luck.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience today.
My pleasure.
The next item is a consent agenda, and there are two different items on there. If there's no objection, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next item is correspondence, but that's just a notification of,
Yes, sir. It's just notification of something that we received from the ABCC. It's not something that we've been actively involved in, and I believe that it is our standard practice to just bring things like this to your attention. So it's a matter of record, even though we have no action before the licensing authority in regards to this.
so noted. Next item is approval of the May 15th, 2023 minutes. If there's
So-
no,
I am going to have multiple sets of minutes at the September meeting. Unexpected things that arose this week, to my own fault, just caused a delay. So I apologize for that, but I want to get on it. I don't want to have any further delays. So thank you for your patience.
yeah, there was two meetings in May anyways, wasn't there? We already approved one.
Yeah.
That's fine, okay. All right, can I have a motion, please? To approve the minutes?
Those are going to be tabled till the 11th.
Oh, it's going to be
Yep.
tabled?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I heard her say she's had a number of them, but I didn't know it included this one. Okay. Licensing updates. Licensing division?
Nothing substantial to speak of right now. I think recently we got our street performer permits, which you folks don't see. They're kind of a formality, if you will. They don't come to a public hearing. Our Class 1 and Class 2 auto dealer licenses, our common victulars, and our lodging houses are now all officially on the OpenGov platform, which means this year at renewal, everything will come through the same system, which gives really those applicants a second pair of eyes. It's been super helpful with working in conjunction with the health department to make sure that people are operating, we're all operating at the same numbers. There's no issues. I'm not going to babble anymore, but essentially it's great for the town. It's great for the businesses. Most of the businesses that we work with already use this system because they have to pull building permits, they're pulling sign permits, they're working with the health department. So much to my surprise, I'm getting great feedback because they're already familiar with the system. So I think that's probably our biggest update right now. And I think Director Anthony alluded to that we are definitely looking at the licensing authority rules and regulations, specifically right now at junk dealers, but quite frankly, I think we are open to if there are any areas that you find that need some clarity. I will certainly be combing through it. I think just tidying it up. There are just some areas that might need some clarity. But outside of that, everything is status quo.
There are some areas I think that have been on the books for a long time that could use a little polishing. Specifically what they are, I don't know, but I know that when they come up, we say we're going to mark them down, but we do need to think about some of those things. And John brought forth today, one of the most important is that people apply well in advance of their circumstances, because they're going to be awful mad at the licensing board if we turn them down.
Agreed, and I think the public has been pretty receptive to that. There have been one or two people that I've had to turn down because there isn't time, and some of those folks just decided to, not have an admission fee or not have alcohol, or change the date of their event so that it could be. And this again was, really was my error. So I appreciate the consideration for the applicant with the initial application.
Well, also, if something should happen,
Right.
when we haven't approved it, it could come back to bite us.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think, I was going to touch on something else you had said, and I've lost it.
Well, when we had the meeting with ABCC, they were adamant about that. I mean, absolutely adamant, 100%, that in no way should we approve something after the fact.
No, we absolutely would not, and especially with alcohol. And I would argue on a very limited basis, there might be an instance on occasion where perhaps a discussion takes place down the road where the chair would be authorized to make an administrative approval in alcohol aside, because we're overseen by another regulating body on that, so we have no say. And I think I would even add that with our rules and regulations, I think the alcohol rules and regs are pretty tight. So I'd almost be hyper focused on everything else when we do this review. But I am super open, I know David is as well, to your feedback. Your feedback is just as important, so we can have some direction on where to go.
Now, next month, we're going to have election of officers, but we're also going to have a realignment, so to speak. So I think you mentioned that Max should be coming off the board if he isn't already.
As of right now, Max Mitrakostas is still a member of the board. There is an opening, and is my understanding, and the individual might be going through an appointment on Thursday, tomorrow.
Yeah, I looked at that agenda, and I did not see that. Is it in there?
I didn't see it on
It
the
was
version I just
It was a long agenda. It was 70-some pages or something like that. But I see a lot of the appointments, but I didn't see the one for the licensing board.
I think you're correct, sir. It's not on the agenda for tomorrow night.
Okay, but they have another. They don't have another meeting before we meet.
I believe first week of September is traditionally the next meeting
For
the town council
The
to
town
appoint.
council, okay. And they're gonna, the town council is also gonna straighten out the positions of the board?
Correct. They would need to take one of the associate members, which at this time is yourself and Ms. Carlson Lidman, and appoint one of you as a regular member. And then it has been very clear between myself and the town council administrator that the new member coming on will be an associate member. And then we will have elections from there. Once we have 3 regular members in place, the elections can take place to nominate those 3 members, the 3 regular members, to a chair, vice chair, and clerk position.
Yeah, we have to vote on those.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Are there any other subjects to be brought up? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
To September 11th, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So be it.